All right, let's go to Tim in Huntsville, Alabama. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Dr. John, how's it going?
Good, man. Hey, Alabama's hit on hard times, man.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to really watch much football recently, but yeah, it's been kind of a
I think that's
disaster.
probably better for you. Yeah, exactly. All right, so what's up, man?
Well, my question is kind of pertaining to me and my wife and our relationship and boundaries between her sister and her boyfriend.
Wait. Your wife's your wife doesn't have a boyfriend.
No, her sister has a boyfriend.
The way you said between my sister, between me and my wife and her sister and her boyfriend. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's
My
not
sister-in-law
full
and her
Alabama.
boyfriend.
All right. Okay. So
Okay,
your wife has a sister and your wife's sister has a boyfriend. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So bring it.
Okay. So I love my wife. I feel like I'm married to my best friend. Absolutely adore her. My mother-in-law and father-in-law are awesome human beings. They're so supportive and generous.
I
But
can't wait till what comes. But
yeah, my wife's sister was an alcoholic early on in her life,
okay.
and that really caused some problems with her relationship with my sister.
Okay.
And with her parents, obviously. And there's been a string of like very bad decisions that led to those strained relationships.
Be specific, man. Is she stealing stuff? Is she like?
She apparently got violent with my sister a couple of times.
Okay.
Basically, completely disrespected any rules that the parents had in the house. Just hung out with the wrong people. But thankfully, now she's been sober for several years.
Awesome.
And she's got a job. She's doing really well herself.
Okay.
But her boyfriend is a bit, I call it like immature. He struggles keeping a job and kind of, in my opinion, kind of like mooches off of her and is more like a child to her, I guess, than an actual partner.
Okay.
And they live together. But the whole dynamic here is where the problem kind of arose with us is we live in a central location between the two. So mother and father-in-law live about 2 hours north of us. Sister-in-law and boyfriend live about 4 hours south of us. So we're central.
You got to move,
for all
Tim.
the family.
You got to move. This is going to fall on you forever. You don't want him coming to stay with you, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is so me and my wife, we're very adamant about our standards and our virtues. We believe that, sex is only for marriage and we shouldn't live together in a cohabitation unless we're actually married.
Okay.
And we don't agree with what her sister and boyfriend are doing. But
hold on. Has she invited you in for your opinion?
No, she hasn't. No.
Okay. I would spend 0 seconds for the rest of my life considering that.
Oh, I definitely agree. Like what they do in their own house, that's completely 100% up to them.
Yeah.
The problem that, and I may be making too big of a deal out of this, but they want to have Christmas at our house because.
Oh, do you not want them sharing a room?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. And on my argument is if they want to stay under our roof, then they would have to stay in separate rooms. My wife is kind of split because she sees that aspect of it, but we also want to preserve the relationship there. We don't want to push them away after these past few years where there's been some healing in the relationship there.
So let's back out of this situation. Okay. Number one, I appreciate you laying it all out there. Okay. That's awesome. I love hamburgers and I love barbecue. And I eat a ton of wild game. It's just how our family does things. Okay. We also have chickens and we eat eggs every day.
Yeah.
I also have a couple of friends who I love and care about, and they are diehard vegans to the death. I guess not to the death of the spinach, right? No other deaths. I don't show up with burgers at their house because it's disrespectful. It's rude.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to go stay there and they're going to have dinner, I don't say, hey, man, can I bring it? Because I don't. Because I want to be better than that. My friendship to them is more important than that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell you that to tell you this. It's your home, and it's your boundaries, and it's your values. They, as people visiting your home, get to make their choice. Whatever that happens to be. Hey, we just don't believe in air conditioning, and that's just how we roll. We just don't believe in it. You are welcome to. My buddy Todd came and stayed at my house. Todd would prefer that most of his life he lived on Antarctica. In Antarctica. He prefers the temperature when he's sleeping to be about -6. And in our house,
sounds like my kind of guy.
Exactly.
Nice and cold.
I had about 65. When he stayed at my house, it was great. And he took a mattress out of the guest room and drug it into like another room where it was cooler. And you know what? I didn't care. And he didn't care. He chose to stay at my house, and he knows that we don't have it subarctic. We just have it cold, right? All that to say is this. They're visiting your house. They get to decide, are we going to come in with this set of rules? If you start compromising your values, whatever they may be, in this pseudo-protective, trying to preserve a relationship where the whole thing ends up is in resentment ash. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Here's the one thing I'm struggling with is I feel maybe I'm out to lunch and maybe it's just the way you and I we just communicate differently, but it feels like there's a superiority, and I would let the air out of that.
Mm-hmm.
You might not have been an alcoholic, but I promise you've had your struggles. And you might not be a mooch, but I promise that there are ways you could be a better and more connected husband, right? So I would get rid of the my values are better than their values, okay? I would say stick with your values, whatever they may be. Who cares? They're yours. It's your house. And let other adults make their choices, whether they want to opt into those. They can also get a hotel. They can also go camping. They can also laugh and make fun of you and be like, that's so dumb, but okay. And all is well. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they choose to not come, then they have chosen not to come. That should not impact your value judgments. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm not going to, dude, if you said we don't walk on the carpet in my house, well, I don't take my shoes off. Well, now we got a problem. You get to choose whether you come in my house or not. I don't believe that people who aren't married should sleep in the same bed. Cool. Well, my girlfriend and I are coming over to your house. Well, you've got a choice to make. See what I'm saying? Like, I just want to take all the air out of the drama. Like, I'm just not going to apologize for my values in my house.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I told my wife is if it was a value we would apply to our future children, say, I feel like it would apply to ourselves, anyone who comes to visit us. Like, we should be consistent, not change the rules for whoever enters, you know?
If that's how y'all want to roll with it, man, don't give it a second thought. Okay? And let the other adults in your life make their choices. They get to do that. And expect people to, when they run up against your boundaries, and I've said this a million times, when they run up against your boundaries, they're going to bang their head on them. They're going to kick and scream. They're going to yell and punch and kick and see if those boundaries hold. And man, I'm just not going to lose sleep over it. This is just who we are in our house. I've recently done some interviews with people that people don't like. Actually, on both sides of the aisle. And one of my core values is I'm always going to have a conversation with somebody. Just as people, I believe they have that dignity and that right to have a conversation. I'm not above anybody. And so people are going to get to make their choices. I'm not going to listen to Delony anymore because he had a conversation with so-and-so. He was on somebody else's show. He did this. Knock your lights out. That's great. But as for me and my house, we're people who are hospitable and we have conversations with everybody because I got a lot to learn. I'm still figuring this thing out. So, Tim, don't apologize for your boundaries. Be very clear and be very direct and be very respectful. You're not better than, you are with, right? Not lording over, but with. And hold firm to who you and your wife want your home to represent, to who you're going to be. And be prepared to live with the consequences of your values. All values have consequences. You're in the right place, my brother.